Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the launch of the Society of Biology. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nancy Rothwell and the first president of the Society. I'm just going to speak very briefly, just to give you a little bit of background to the Society, which was officially formed in October 2009. So the goal of the new organisation is to support and promote all aspects of biology. That isn't simply biological research, biological teaching in universities, but also in schools at all levels. It's the amateur biologist, the interested biologist. It's everybody who wants to do something for biology.
I want to begin by congratulating both the Biosciences Federation and the Institute of Biology on this merger to make the Society of Biology. This unification is very important for biology in Great Britain. Now, where do I think the great advances in 21st century biology, particularly molecular and cellular biology, where do I think that going, at least in the first few decades? Well, I think we're at a very interesting juncture. Molecular biology and the molecular biology and genetic revolutions of the 20th century have given us a very powerful paradigm with which to work. And if we can place it in the proper context of organisms, then this will greatly improve our understanding of life. Now, I think key to this understanding will be information and the management of information. The public do not fund research simply to indulge our curiosity. However, of course, indulging curiosity of creative scientists is in fact the best way to bring about high-quality research. And this represents one of the great dilemmas for research funding. Because we, that is those on the ground doing research, are stimulated by curiosity and wanting to know, but we are funded by others who actually want us to do something useful, to bring benefits for humanity. Both sides of this are reasonable. We can do best work when we are being creative, and also we have to produce something useful, because the benefits of research are real and tangible. That's why, in fact, we receive in biology and biomedicine such good support. And we can expect improvements in health and technology, agriculture, and the environment as a consequence. Many in this room will now be aware that there are discussions in grant applications that have to give an estimate of the impact of the research supported. It seems pretty harmless, but it isn't harmless, it's simply a bad idea. The motivation for it is good, they're trying to solve a problem, the solution is bad. All that will happen if we adopt this proposal is that research grant applications will either invent impacts that have no meaning, or even worse, second or third-rate scientists will propose projects that sound as if they have good impacts, but in reality will lead to second or third-rate research. This simple way of addressing the problem is not appropriate. We need a more subtle approach. Now, with respect to the political parties and science funding, once again, the appropriate term is unification. It is so obvious that scientific research is essential for the future generation of wealth, for improvement of health, for the enhancement of the quality of life, as well as the cultural advances, that I urge all three parties to adopt a common, unified approach to fund research science adequately. In the 21st century, we need to develop fully integrated biology courses, which do include all areas from molecules through to ecology, evolution, and ethology. We have to place the organism centrally in the teaching of all biology. I think there needs to be a greater focus in biology on great ideas. So for education in biology in the 21st century, we need to achieve two things: an understanding and respect for science, including biological science, for all students, regardless of their ability or aptitude for science, to prepare them to be proper citizens in a scientific and technological world. And secondly, we need to provide inspiration at school for those who might want to make biology more central to their careers. And because biology is increasingly important, we need to attract the very best into the subject, and that's why we need to inspire them, and that's why, I return to it, we need to talk to them about the great ideas of biology. I'm very optimistic about biology in the 21st century, very much so. There's a great potential to understand life and what it is, this great intellectual endeavour. There is also great potential for huge benefits for humanity, to improve health, for wealth creation, for improving the quality of life. But we need to support research at the highest level. We need to improve our teaching. We need to have proper and better engagement and dialogue with the public. The 21st century will be the century for biology, and I wish the Society of Biology all the best, both in its own unification and with what it can do to ensure that biology is researched, taught, and discussed at the highest level and well.
I understand that one of the important purposes of this new society is to produce and provide a unified voice for biology. That has never been more important, in my view. It's crucially important that this society representing biology should have the ear of government and speak with the power that comes from being a unified voice. Members of the government, politicians, are not necessarily well-informed biologists, but they have to deal with biological problems. They have to deal with the consequences of climate change, which are, in an enormous part, biological. They have to deal with problems like genetic modification of plants, which Paul just spoken of. They have to deal with problems about whether or not you kill all the badgers in this country, and what are the arguments. They have to deal with problems of public health, and particularly, again, echoing what Sir Paul said, they have to deal and take decisions about the teaching of biology in the schools, and there could scarcely be anything more important than that. So this society has a big job, but a job that is absolutely within its ability to fulfill. And that is to keep the government on the one hand and the public on the other informed about biological research, but fundamentally about the essence of biology, which tells us why we are here and also tells us what we ought to be doing here with the natural world. So I welcome the fact that the society now exists and can give biologists a unified voice. Thank you.
Working with young people who were learning brand new scientific techniques that were completely foreign to them, and seeing them genuinely enthused and inspired by working both on current science and working with real-life scientists, for want of a better phrase, re-inspired me, and about just how exciting it really is to be at the cutting edge of scientific research, to work with people from all over the globe, to travel, to explore new ideas and concepts, and to really take ownership of all of your ideas and your work and your data, and it's yours, and to own that and to be a part of this really is a most rewarding career. Now, research success may still ultimately be measured on publications alone, but the impact of a day spent working with the public, with their inquiring and inquisitive minds and their new ideas, cannot be underestimated in its power to reaffirm to you just why your research is so important, both to yourself and to the public, and to relight that fire of enthusiasm that we all set off with in the first place. And who knows, along the way, we might even inspire scientists of the future.